This is a message from my own writing that talks about some of the things that I've had shared with me over the years from the League of Light. Borgerell said, "The days are near when the intensity of change will be felt by all." Over the years, from time to time, not often, the Pleiadians give me markers on things to come that actually do come to pass. More often than not, when I've posted a question about when or if something will happen, I usually get the runaround. Hanging on a string, staring into an empty sky, many of you probably know too well what I'm talking about. Perhaps that's followed by a picture in your mind of kids in the back seat on a long drive asking, "Are we there yet?" The Pleiadians certainly have a humorous take on lessons of humility, at least. The few times they've offered information unsolicited, things happened as described. I've learned not to take as literal their words relating to our concept of calendar time. After all, there is a dimensional dynamic at play which is far beyond my own ken regarding how they communicate about this thing called time. It's much more fluid from their point of view, I think, and much too important to my own. At least, I've acquiesced to that perspective personally. However, I know when they're telling me straight. I get the same message over and over, with no deviation, or they come out with information about an event that I haven't asked about. I have a few stories, but that's not what this particular writing is about. This is about all the other things they've offered, about our collective experience, markers. I hesitate to call this kind of thing prediction or prophecy, so let's just agree they are markers and proceed. I think it will be easier to stay on a grounded relationship with the information. I've had some of this information for a long time. It's scattered in notebooks and random spaces where I've managed to jot down the incoming commentary. You'll see it's suitably enigmatic to stimulate curiosity and imagination, and as time moves on, it's also pretty easy to see how it could fit together. Not enough to say, aha, this is what's going to happen, but as markers providing check-in points along our way. Our way toward what, you might ask? A collective experience of revelation, reunion, communion with our own selves in time, meeting of past and future in a present moment of note. Without further ado, I'll just list here, in roughly the order the information came, what's been given to me to share. A curiosity to me is that I cannot, in my stacks of notebooks, find the one that had some of the original notes about this info. Frustrating and baffling, but I did at least type it up in a private message and save that. Funny how tenuous the more physical hold on time is becoming lately. Let's begin with the short list of markers from the missing notebook from 2013 or 2014. This is the framework for what follows. As I can't refer to the passage directly, I'm not sure the source other than it came from the League of Light at about that time. First, a gift from the past will be given to the present time. Next, the one who would be king will not be fit to take the throne. Third, the first Japanese child will die. The early signs from September, this is from them. The early signs from September coming through are that we are going to be lifting people, including you, in the days after the end of the trio of events. These things have to happen first, and after that, we are going to be in front of everyone. It is necessary for these things to happen. That's the end of the quoted material. One thing you might be surprised to know about me is that I am my own worst skeptic. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's healthy. It's not easy for me to put this information out without that disclaimer. I'm forever in doubt and always triple-checking everything I share, just so you know. I've vetted that statement with the crew telepathically a million different ways, well, a half dozen anyway, and just now again, and they say it's time to share it, all of it. So, if you are skeptical, know that you are not alone, not by a long shot. regarding messages about soon and other vague terms of promise. That said, please, please, please do not bombard me with accusations of selling hope porn or whatever. I feel the pain, I understand, I share the frustration, but I have to keep doing what I've been tasked to do. I didn't take this job lightly, and it's not an easy path to walk. Just know that I'm with you when it comes to knowing what effort it takes to keep spirits up while being awake and witnessing civilization self-destruct. All right, back to the list. I'm pulling this one from memory as I can't locate it in a notebook yet, and if I do, I will share more. But there was a marker about soldiers being on the field of battle, seeing or hearing something in the sky, putting their weapons down, and walking off. This is cryptic, I know, and I will try to verify as I am able. It does make me think of this channeled drawing, though, and you'll find a link to that in the description below. Similarly, I have only this statement from an email and haven't located it on paper yet. It's from Ask It, a little girl giving her life for the sake of world peace. Okay, jumping way ahead to January 18th of this year, 2020. This came through in a casual chat session I had via automatic writing. Maryann, know we are with you in our Pleiadian form, which is undetectable to you, but we will be in a more detectable form at the time appointed. You will see us, and none on earth will doubt our true existence. We cannot tell you about the time frame of our arrival, you understand, only to give you markers by which to plot the course of things. We have given some, and they have come to pass. Each time our presence has become stronger. You're feeling it, are you not? Now, we can tell you a few more. First, you will see the turning of a great clock from clear to imminent. This will mark the change on our side of having more influence upon the general sleeping public. Then, you will hear of the birth of an heir to a dying string of world power. This will be heralded as a great thing, but anarchy will follow closely, violence and chaos. This will heighten the desire for some kind of extraplanetary help to intervene. Truly, there are few circumstances under which we can make our presence fully known. The next marker is already discussed and is already becoming a real situation. Soon there will arise a kind of echo around the world which will trigger armies to defect their war. At that point, Japan will have issues they will try to hide, but unsuccessfully. You will hear of grave illnesses and death. Then we come. The changes we speak of occur in rapid succession. We cannot tell you about when, but it is certain to happen. That's the end of that quote. And in a recent late January 2020 message from Archangel Michael, which you can find online, you will see some things happen now that will affirm what we have said. You will see a change in movement for those who have been driving the world. You will see the end of an empire finally come to pass. None will long mourn it, for the pain will shift from imaginary to acknowledged, and many will demand retribution. Then you will hear of war, but the conflict will end before it begins. And this from around the same time, within a drawing. This is a translation of light language symbols. In one moment of understanding will your world forever alter the current of time's flow. You approach the reckoning in which all becomes as new. All this said, I will share some things regarding the essential message concerning all these markers. In November 2019, this came from the League of Light, unsigned by any specific name, in answer to a question I had about my role and guidance for my own path. Within that answer were these words: we cannot tell you when this will begin. We watch what is happening, awaiting our entrance call. This is not up to us, but the hand of the great designer, Om. We can say with certainty that it will happen, for some variables cannot be changed, and the need for evacuation is very real. The planetary shift is imminent and cannot be averted. However, it will not be total, nor as catastrophic as it has been in other periods of shift. In fact, this can rather be seen as a time of renewal and reclamation of your truth and true path. The time is set, but as yet we cannot say, other than that some of the markers have been met and others will be met within weeks. We can say more at that point in time. In peace, we leave you with this thought. When you hear news of the final end of the nation of dark secrets that operates with help from the seat of the church, our arrival will be a matter of days. Do not gaze at the sky in anticipation. You have some things to do yet. Now I have to add this. Their concept of time is different from ours. When they say days, it doesn't mean 24-hour periods as we count time. It's rather a metaphorical or coded length of time. So I'll just add that. Okay, back to the original message. Anika said this in early December 2019. It echoes and restates generally what has been the steady, undeviating message from the League of Light since I first began communications with them in 2008. We are ever nearer. It is true that you will meet us in this life, and soon. Do what is before you, without worry or concern. Know that you have had the experiences you needed, and that is true for everyone whose time on earth is short. We come. The changes will happen fast now, then move at a powerful but steady pace. The next earth belongs to those who heed the change. You, however, will be far away, home. The skeptic in me has been a little startled about a few things I've noticed lately. Prince Harry leaving the lineup, the doomsday clock being moved to the closest ever to midnight, just a couple of days after I got this transmission, and the violent spread of fear on the back of the coronavirus, now with confirmed cases in Japan. Usually I think, okay, that's interesting, but I'm not convinced that's it. But I'm keeping an eye on it just the same. How about you? Please share your thoughts in the comments section. I'll gather them and post them as updates to the article. What follows here is a streamlined list from the collection in this article. I've grouped related or repeated things together, but maintain events roughly in sequence. You can find this on the original post, which is linked below. Okay, here's the list of temporal markers from the League of Light. Regarding time, a gift from the past will be given to the present time. You will see the turning of a great clock from clear to imminent. Regarding government and power, you will see a change in movement for those who have been driving the world. The one who would be king will not be fit to take the throne. You will hear of the birth of an heir to a dying string of world power. Anarchy will follow closely, violence, and chaos. You will see the end of an empire finally come to pass. Pain will shift from imaginary to acknowledged. Many will demand retribution. You will hear news of the final end of the nation of dark secrets that operates with help from the seat of the church. Regarding war, you will hear of war, but the conflict will end before it begins. Soldiers on the field of battle hear something, then put their weapons down and walk away. There will arise a kind of echo around the world which will trigger armies to defect their war. A little girl gives her life for the sake of world peace. And further on death. Japan will have issues they will try to hide, but unsuccessfully. You will hear of grave illnesses and death. The first Japanese child will die. Then we come. So I hope you've enjoyed this, that it is perhaps edifying to you to review some of these things. And again, this is not prophecy. These are markers that have been given over time. And I am not, I'm not promoting them as any sort of hard and fast things to be staking everything that you do upon. Live your life and keep an eye on things and continue to move toward a sense of unity. Stay attuned to what speaks to your heart. Pay attention to what's happening around you and within you, and find a way to attune to each other as well. I'll keep bringing you updates from the League of Light, and know that I'm working very hard to keep the lines of communication open and flowing with as much information as I can. I know these times are challenging to so many of us in so many different ways. Know that I'm with you in this, and that we are surrounded by loving presences always. Thanks for tuning in, and stay in touch. Talk to you soon. Bye.